Hi, I'm John Storms, and today I'm unboxing my order from PixelControllerLLC, right? More affectionately known as David Pitts, right? The Falcon Christmas guy. If we all know that the controllers have been really short supply due to chip shortages, and very hard for manufacturers, both David and Cole, to come out with Pixel controller boards. Now, I think it was back in February. There was a very small window where David was able to get some parts. He was able to do he was able to do an order of Falcon controllers, and I was very fortunate. I saw the message at midnight on Facebook, jumped on from bed, ordered some, and I was very happy to get them because I need them. If you see here, this is my pile of bad Falcon F16v3 boards, right? So I had a bad lightning strike, very close lightning strike during the season last year, and it caused a lot of damage. Now I was able to recover some of the boards, but others I weren't. And I talked to David about it, and the problem is fixing the boards is the same as building boards, right? It comes down to parts, right? So I'll keep them, right? And hopefully we'll be able to fix them at some point. But for now, kind of screwed. Now, the other thing I want to say is I just got back from the 2022 Florida Mega Mini, and I never win anything in the raffle. And this year, all the raffle tickets that came with my admission, I just dumped them into David Pitts's box for gift certificates, and I won a gift certificate from Falcon Christmas. I'm not exactly sure how much. I should have taken a picture of the box, but I think it's for like $100. So as soon as I have something to spend it on, I will buy it. So anyway, let's get to opening this. So there's a box inside the standard envelope. I'll get this opened up. Wow, maybe I should have blacked out my home address when I was showing this package earlier. Oh well. Not that we haven't had weird people show up at the house before, just for the lights. Alright, so now we got the next challenge, the box. And they seal these really good. Let's open this up. Okay, now be very careful, right? These Falcon controllers are like the most precious commodity right now. So let's pull them out really careful. Ooh. And what do we got? We have 2. Okay. I believe the max you could order was 2. I'm still short for what I need, but I have faith. And if those, I still have an F16v2R, and so I can coax that back into service. And then worst case scenario, I could also see if I could get some of these really old Sand device controllers back up and running. So David's he's perfected the shipping, so he has the nice foam to keep everything protected. And then he has a little foam thing that goes over the SD slot. And there we go. There is the beautiful F16 V3 right there. It says designed by David Pitts, PixelController.com. And so here's the little QLED screen. Now, as the original owner, I get to do this, right? You take this and you peel that off. Ooh, that's an endorphin rush. So that's one. And then, of course, I don't have to cut these open because now David is using, look at these fancy resealable electrostatic bags. Oops. Excuse me. And I pull this guy off of the SD card. Use that to upgrade the firmware on the board, which I do as infrequently as humanly possible. I only update firmware if I have a specific reason to do so, if there's a bug I'm trying to fix and so on. When the V-Force came out, it was important to keep up with the firmware because, changes were fast and furious, but it's really settled out. Okay, now we get to do this again. So we're going to pull the plastic cover off the OLED. All right. So this is so it comes not scratched. Look at it. So you get it real close. Ooh, look at that. Yes. That's why anybody buys electronics, is to peel that stuff off. Now, when I'm looking at the board, I also try to just give a quick glance. I mean, obviously, I'm going to sit down, power these up, make sure they work. But you're looking for, is anything looking really off? You make sure the parts are all there, they're all connected. That stuff is, these are all seated in there. These chips are seated. These resistor banks are seated. You just kind of make sure everything is good and tight. And then I like to look on the other side of the board, just see if there's anything that looks wrong. And I do it, but honestly, I've never found anything wrong with any of these boards, visually. So, but yeah, it looks, everything looks really nice. Now, if you're running into shortages, since they're obviously having shortages with their Falcon controllers, there are things you can do to kind of make what you have go further, right? So one thing you can do, and I don't have any of the V3 expansion boards, but expansion boards are one of the things you can actually still get on David Pitt's site, okay? So for example, this is a V4 expansion board. And the idea is very similar to the V3, right? So there is an expansion cable on the board, on the main board, and then you run that ribbon cable to your expansion board. And it varies from board to board. So this is the old V2 board. I don't have a V3 one. I'm going to have to jump on and order some of those today. And this is the V4 board. And on V4, the ribbon cable got a little bit more narrow. But what this does is if I have especially with the V4, a 16-port V4, and I buy one of these, well, now it's 32-port. And then I can buy two of these for each V4 and turn it into a 48-port controller, which is like 3 controllers. Now, the F16v3 has a maximum limit of pixels that you can use, and so does the V4, but the V3 is lower. So the V3, you can't do a maximum number of pixels on each port. You kind of have to, there's a slider bar where you kind of say, I'm going to use more ports, but I have to use fewer pixels per port. Okay. The nice thing about the V4 and what makes the V4 special, in my opinion, is that you can use the maximum number of pixels on every single port, right? So functionality wise, it's very, very similar to the V3, but that is an important distinction. So for me, if I add, I buy my original V4 pixel controller and then I add this, I've just doubled my controller, and I add 2 of these, well, I get a lot more pixel. I can get a lot more ports for a lot more pixels. I tend to put about 600 pixels per port, right? Which at about 30% brightness, and it does require power injection. But the other thing I'm thinking about is with that many ports, maybe what I'll do is I'll reduce the number of pixels per port, which will make it so I don't have to power inject, which isn't the reason I'm thinking about doing it. The reason I'm thinking about doing it is that for any run of pixels coming off of a port, anytime a pixel goes bad, everything from that point on goes out. It's broken, right? So if you have 600 pixels on a port, versus 300 pixels on port, your exposure to a failure is twice as much. So if on my house I had 300 pixels and a pixel goes out halfway through, I might lose a snowflake and a half, right? But on a 600 port run, it could actually be like an entire side of my house, and that's much more noticeable. So anyway, the expansion cards are really nice, and these last I checked are still in stock. So it's a way that you can leverage more out of your existing system. So anyway, got 2 F16v3s. This is what we unboxed today. Very happy to get them. Don't hate me because I got 2, right? I really do need them, right? Without these 2, I would have a hard time pulling off my display. And while there's a part shortage, it's not completely cut off. So, I'm sure as, the manufacturers, Culp and Falcon get parts, they'll be baking more. So, you do like I do, go to the site every single day, start and see if anything's in stock. And if it's in stock, You just have to be quick. So anyway, that's my unboxing video for, Pixel Controller LLC Falcon controllers from David Pitts. And thank you very much to Falcon Controller for supporting the Florida Mega Mini, especially for the raffle prize that I won, which I believe is a $100 gift certificate. Anyway, thank you very much. This is John Storms. Bye.